appropriation bill, because Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, these two processes that we'll be having are intertwined. And the reason we have decided that we have the appropriation bill after the finance bill is because this is a very democratic house and the country is very democratic, and we want us to first trace where the monies are coming from even before we finalize on the appropriation bill, so that whatever members may feel around the appropriation, the finance bill, can also be taken care of in the appropriations bill, Honorable Speaker, so that we are able to balance our revenue and expenditure. And I am hopeful that we'll be looking at these matters in a very objective manner, because we are all, Honorable Speaker, looking forward into the many programs that we have undertaken to complete and undertake. For example, electricity in our constituencies will be getting 50 million per constituency, and all the others, including the increment in the agricultural sector, in the CDF, and all the other elements that are very important for service delivery in regards to the Kenyan people. Also, the monies that we are appropriating to our counties, which is 400.1 billion shillings, is also hedged, Honorable Speaker, on this bill, but alongside this bill, also the revenue side, which is the motion that is a heavy motion before us, which will be moved by the chairman, Honorable Kimani Kuria. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and request that the Honorable, the very able Didimas Barasa, the man of Kofia, to second this motion.
Didimas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to second this motion, and just like the chair has explained, it's very, in very good term, very clear terms, Honorable Speaker. We have a lot that this House is going to process, and most importantly, we must meet the timeline, considering that we are coming to the end of this financial year. And Honorable Speaker, this House is youthful. We are able to go through the finance bill, and we'll be able to understand where these monies are coming from. Without much ado, Honorable Speaker, I beg to second. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Didimas. Order, Honorable Commissioner Makau. Order. Commissioner Makau, freeze or take the nearest seat. Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2024, from 7 days to 5 days. We put the question? Yes, Kajwan.
Mr. Speaker, I see no merit in reducing the dates or the days that we have in this bill. The number of days we are talking about, this bill is already published, but it is 5 days old. In fact, if we then reduce it, then it becomes ripe, which in number 10, you then can see it can be put before the House to be read a first time. So actually, mathematically, what we are talking about is 2 days. We have already passed a resolution to discuss tomorrow, to discuss the issues concerning the finance bill tomorrow. And Honorable Speaker, the majority leader just let us know from the House business you have directed that this can go between tomorrow up to Thursday. So actually, we then can properly examine this bill if it were to be, if it were to take the 7 days on Tuesday next week, quite properly. It would have taken 7 days in the normal manner of things, and we would then begin debate on it on Wednesday, on Tuesday. Now, Mr. Speaker, for us to accept this, a person moving the bill or the person seconding must give us reasons. The only reason I have had is that we are going to discuss very important bills. But there is nothing which takes away, because the 7 days is for the common person to interact with the bill, as well as the member representing that person to interact with this bill. And so, if there is no reason other than the fact that we are going to discuss some very important issues in the course of today and tomorrow, the chair of budget has not given us a very good reason for which we have to extend these dates. I submit.
Honorable Kajwang, you are a member of House Business Committee, aren't you? And you know that allocating the finance bill, the number of days that we did, does not mean it will consume all the days. In case it ends early, then this motion becomes relevant, but it's entirely up to the House. Can I put the question now? I now put the question, which is that pursuant the provisions of Standing Order 120, this House resolves to reduce the publication period of the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2024, from 7 days to 5 days. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? Then the ayes have it. Honorable members, you're calling the next order? Honorable members, as we go to the next order, it is expected that the chairman of the Finance Committee, member for Molo, will be tabling his report or his committee report this afternoon. I have not seen it yet. I have to approve it to be tabled, so when I recess, I'll have to perform that function. Once that is done, the report will be available at the table office. I encourage each and every honorable member to get the report either from the table office physically or on the parliamentary web. Read through it properly. Upon doing so, we have allocated time as follows. Tomorrow morning from 9:30, the finance bill will be moved by the committee chairman. It will be open to debate the whole of tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, you have just approved a sitting for Thursday morning. And remember that tomorrow you will sit up to 9:30 or 9 in the night. On Thursday morning, we'll again sit on the finance bill, and House Business Committee has directed that we will then vote on that bill on Thursday afternoon. Committee of the Whole on the same bill will come on Tuesday afternoon. Those of you who want to file any amendments, and I've seen some, I've in fact approved some, although it will be more decent and proper to file your amendments after reading the report to see whether you are proposing amendments that have already been dealt with by the committee. I have directed the clerk that the closure for submitting amendments will be on Thursday at 1 p.m. So those of you who want to file any amendments upon reading the report and the bill, ensure that you file your amendments at or before Thursday 1 p.m. Thereafter, you'll be time barred, and don't say you are not given proper direction. I hope that when the bill is debated from tomorrow, you will debate from an informed position on the content of the bill, the content of the report, and what you desire the bill to be. Thank you. Next order.
Order number 10, the Appropriation Bill, National Assembly Bill number 33 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to authorize the issuance of a sum of money out of the consolidated fund and its application towards the service of the year ending on 30th June 2025, and to appropriate that sum and a sum voted on account by the National Assembly for certain public services and purposes.
Next order.
Order number 11, the County Government's Additional Allocations Bill, Senate Bill number 19 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the additional allocations to county governments for the year 2024-2025, for the 2024-2025 financial year, the responsibilities of the national government and county governments pursuant to such allocation and for connected purposes. Order number 12, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bill number 25 of 2024, first reading. A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the equitable allocation of revenue raised nationally among the county governments for the 2024-2025 financial year, the responsibilities of national and county governments pursuant to such allocation and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 13, the Care and Protection of Child Parents Bill, Senate Bill number 29 of 2023, second reading.
Beatrice Kemei, you are the co-sponsor of that Senate bill. It's now your time to move the bill. Give her the mic. A functioning mic, there you are.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the Care and Protection of Child Parents Bill 2023, the Senate Bill number 29 of 2023 be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, the principal objective of the bill is to provide a legal framework for the care and protection of child parents within the counties. The framework is intended to ensure that an expectant child or a child parent may actualize their right to basic education and at the same time ensure proper care of their children and as enshrined in Article 53 of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, 61 years since Kenya gained its independence from colonial rule, child pregnancies remain a huge concern, as they not only affect the child's ability to continue with their education, but they also impact on the government's effort in reducing poverty levels in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics in the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey conducted in 2022 noted that 15% of adolescent women between 15 and 19 years have ever been pregnant, with 12% having given birth, 1% experiencing pregnancy loss, and 3% being pregnant with their first child. Kenya National Bureau of Standards further noted that the number of teenage pregnancies is higher in rural areas, particularly in pastoralist communities, compared to urban areas. It further noted that teen pregnancies decline as the level of education rises, and further that it also declines as the level of household wealth increases. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Constitution of Kenya 2010 in Article 53(1), Part B, C, and D provides for the right of a child to free and compulsory basic education, the right to basic nutrition, shelter, and health care, and the right to protection and right to protection from abuse, neglect, harmful cultural practices, all forms of violence, inhuman treatment and punishment that is there, and even exploitative labor. Honorable Speaker, Section 13 of the Child Act, number 29 of 2022, reiterates the right of a child to basic education and mandates the Cabinet Secretary in charge of children matters, in consultation with the Cabinet Secretary in charge of education, to develop and implement policies for the realization by every child of the Constitution of the constitutional right to education. The Basic Education Act number 14 of 2013 provides that no child should be denied admission to a public school. The above, Honorable Speaker, the above notwithstanding, children who fall pregnant in school, especially those born in poor households, are likely to drop out of school so that they can fend for their babies. This not only impacts on their right to education, but also exposes them to early marriages and exploitative labor practices as